Honorable Chair. The first question from Chawanda on the process of the bill. So what will happen is the bill was presented today, and we'll then allow the AG to just do some legal scrubbing, and then we send it to the Speaker. The Constitution says all our bills, basically, we send them to the Speaker, who will then take it for gazetting. If it's an ordinary bill, it's 21 days gazetting before you do the first reading in Parliament. But for a constitutional bill, the Constitution says once you gazette it, you wait for 90 days before you introduce it in Parliament. So what will happen is, once the Speaker has sent it for gazetting and it's in the public domain, that period will now use it to have our debates, to call upon anyone you want to interview about their views. Parliament will call for public consultations, and once all that is done, the relevant parliamentary committees will now compile their reports, and then when we introduce the bill in Parliament, because this is a constitutional bill, it doesn't need referral to the Parliamentary Legal Committee. So once we introduce it, we then start the second reading stage, where we then introduce the bill formally in Parliament, and debate will commence in Parliament. Once the second reading is done, we then go into committee, and that process, it depends on the parliamentary calendar. I cannot speak on how long it will take, but once it's gazetted, it can even take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, depending on the business of Parliament. What is it that we want to do? But basically, that's the process. On how many prisoners? I think the prison authorities will now have to do the mathematics. We just, as cabinet, we didn't deal with figures. We dealt with categories. That is what has been approved. So the prison officials will look at the categories and say, this is what has been approved. Let's look into our records and identify the ones that are to be released, and that information will be in the public domain. And then Shingwere, the reason why the minister said cabinet approved, it means that is what cabinet agreed. I thank you. Unless you have something.